Hey, say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League Private Week Recap, Future Week Forecast Evening Talk Show. As always, I am your host, the Commish. It is Week 3 in the NFL. Week 2 was just upon us, and right at the top of this episode, I want to do a little housekeeping. I'd like to dedicate this episode to our dear friend, my brother, Meaty Pablo. Meat, you had a birthday last weekend due to some phone issues, phone service issues. I didn't get a proper chance to tell you happy birthday. So I just wanted to wish you happy birthday, bud. And, look, I know you had a bit of a rough birthday. The Bengals lost in horrific fashion. You lost in fantasy, down 0-2. Hey, man, I believe in you. I think you can get this back on track. Might take a little hard work, a little dedication. I'm going to be pulling for you. I love you, bud. Happy belated birthday. Moving on. Let's take a look at Week 2 in the NFL and, more importantly, in the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League. This is the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League, probably your Future Forecast Evening Talk Show. Let's look at the league last year. As always, I'm going to start with the biggest blowouts first, and that belonged to Braden with a score of 137.42, destroying Z-Pat, who put up 100.96 points, margin of victory of 36.46 points. Braden led by Alvin Kamara, 46 points for the man. I think he had 3 touchdowns, maybe 4. That's a lot of points. Z-Pat led by Nico Collins, the wide receiver out of the Houston Texans. He put up 26.5 points. That's over a quarter of Zach's points. I'd imagine the rest of his team sucked ass. Moving on. Nate Dogg put up 102.10, destroyed the aforementioned down on his luck Meat. 77.78 points for the birthday boy. Rough showing for you, Meat. That's a margin of victory of 24.32 points. Nate Dogg led by Marvin Harrison Jr. Quite a first half he had, and it's about time. He laid an egg last week, but a good introduction to the NFL for him with a bounce-back game, putting up 30 points. Meat was led by Lamar Jackson, 16.38 points. Better luck next week, Meat. Moving on. Myself, Tanner, I beat Corey. Suck it, Corey. Beat you 136.54. Just 1 second here. My computer's updating. Oh, this is terrible. This is just absolutely terrible. Live television, folks. All right, crisis averted. Oh, wait. Never mind. Pardon me. This is unbelievable. All right. Moving on. Yes, where was I? Oh, yes, that's right. I beat Corey's ass. 136.54. Corey put up 113.74. Margin of victory of 22.8 points. I was led by Devon Achane. Achane's been a hell of a guy for me thus far. He put up another 26 points. Corey, led by Kyler Murray, put up 28.54 points. Not a bad showing for his quarterback. Better luck next week. Moving on. Jordy beat Neil. A score of 110.84 for Jordy to 100.66 for Neil. Margin of victory of 10.18 points. Jordy led by Malik Neighbors, another impressive rookie. 26.7 points for the young man. Neil was led by Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith, 17.1 points. It wasn't enough to beat Jordy. Jordy wins. Moving on. Last week's Commissioner's Choice Game of the Week, and God bless it, was it a nail-biter? Dilly Donuts, 111.90. Bodie, 110.62. You heard me correctly. This was 111 to 110. If you need me to do the math, I'll do it for you. Margin of victory, 1.28 points. Came down to the last play on Monday Night Football. Bodie, I know that hurts. That interception lost you the game. Suck it. Dog led by James Cook, 28 points. And the Bodemeister led by Jalen Hurts, 23.82 points. Speaking of Hurts, Bodie, I bet that one hurt. Better luck next week. Moving on. The Week 2 Bingo Bango top dog. Braden stole it from me. I tried to go back-to-back just like Drake. Braden stole it. Nobody hit over 150 Insta top dog status. But Braden was our top dog of the week last week, putting up 137.42 points. I hate to do it to you. I hate to pile on him. The birthday boy, our Week 2 certified bona fide dumbass, Meat, you were the only person to not break 100, and you didn't even break 78. Meat put up 77.78 points, making him our special birthday edition dumbass of the week. Nobody else hit that under 90 dumbass. That was all Meat. And The most painful benching of the week, that belonged to me. I had DK Metcalf on my bench. Put up 26.9 points. Fun fact for you, second place, the silver medal in this competition, also went to me. I had the top two. Chris Godwin, also on my bench, put up 24.2 points. So that was painful. I still found a way to win. That should strike fear in all of you because even my bench is killing it, baby. I can't be stopped. And just another little bit of housekeeping. Moving forward, we will call this award the Son of a Bench Award. So I win the Son of a Bench Award for this week with DK Metcalf. Let's not live in the past, boys. Let's look towards the future. Moving forward throughout the rest of the league, the rest of the season, current power rankings. Number one, I'm getting comfy up there, boys. It's me, alone on top of the mountain. I come in at number one. We have some movement. We have some movement after me, sitting in the 2 seed, sitting in the number 2 power ranking. That would be Dilly Donuts. Third place, 3 seed bronze medal. That would be JORDY. JORDY's sitting at 3. Neely comes in at 4. Z-Pat at number 5. Braden, a lot of movement for Braden. Braden moves up to number 6. It's only a 6-man playoff, boys. You got to figure the top 6 power rankings, they're the most likely, and trust me, they are. We'll go over that in a little bit. Coming in at number 7, Nate, you're knocking on the door. You gotta up it a little bit here, Nate. Nate's sitting at 7. Corey sitting at 8. Bodemeister sitting at 9. And I hate to do it to you again, Meat. This is the Meat, it's not looking good for you, bud. Meat sitting at 10. Meat, you got to get it together. I believe in you. I have faith in you. You can do it. You got to do it soon. Meat sitting in 10th, the very last place of our 10-man league in the current power rankings. Moving on. Standings, as always, in the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League are brought to you by my favorite cheap beer, my favorite beer in general, Keystone Light. That's a good beer. Let's start with the Keystone Division. Speaking of Keystone, let's start right there. Sitting atop the Keystone Division in the current number 1 seed, that would be Dilly Donuts, last week's guest. Dilly Donuts has a 81% chance to make the playoffs. Playoffs. 81% chance to make the playoffs right now for Dilly Donuts. Number 2 seed, 2 in the Keystone Division right now is Z-Pat. Z-Pat currently 62% chance to make the playoffs. To make the playoffs. Playoffs! You'll have to excuse me here in beautiful Sinistry Studios in beautiful Bellevue, Kentucky. The audience, I guess, has had too many Keystones. Keystone, what a good beer. Where was I? Z-Pat, 62% chance to make the playoffs. Nate Dogg, the 3 seed in the Keystone Division right now, sitting at a 56% chance to make the playoffs. Bodemeister, right now, the 4 seed, a 39% chance to make the playoffs. And Meat, our current bottom dweller of the Keystone Division, Meat, a mere 35% chance to make the playoffs. But I'll remind you, Meat, we're going into week 3. Plenty of season left, plenty of time to turn it around. But you got to start now, buddy. No better time to turn it around than right now. Let's move on over to the Natty, which is, funny enough, also brought to us by our friends over at Keystone. That's a good beer. Sitting atop the Natty Division. You know him, you love him. It's me. I am currently in first place, 84% chance to make the playoffs. I told y'all it was my year. I tried to warn you. Worst to first, baby. You're seeing it happen. I am atop the Natty Division. Number 2 in the Natty Division right now is JORDY Ponz. JORDY Ponz with a 78% chance to make the playoffs. 3 in the Natty, that would be Neely. Neely with a 63% chance as it stands right now to make the playoffs. Braden, 4 in Natty, 1 in our hearts, but 4 in Natty, 61% chance to make the playoffs. And the bottom dweller of the Natty, it's a family affair. That would be Corey, Mead's cousin. There's something wrong on that family tree. They're sitting at the bottom of each division. Get it together, boys. Corey with only a 42% chance as it stands to make the playoffs. That's enough about standings. Let's move on to week 3. I'm going to start right off the top with this week's Commissioner's Choice Game of the Week. Commissioner's Choice Week 3 Game of the Week. That pits our two bottom dwellers together. It's the battle of the cousins. Corey, 0-2, taking on Meat, also 0-2. Someone's got to win. It would be unbelievable if they tied. But I feel like someone will win. But who knows? A tie could be on the horizon because apparently Corey's projected to score 111.1. Meat projected to score an even 110. That's a margin of victory of a mere 1.1 points. Could we see a tie? Tie is kind of like kissing your sister. This could be like kissing your cousin. So good luck to both of you there in this week's Commissioner's Choice Game of the Week. Moving on. Nate Dogg, 1-1. He's projected 108.5 points, which projected to beat the Bodemeister, who's projected 107.1 points. Another nail-biter. You'd think this would have been the Commissioner's Choice Game of the Week if it wasn't for the Battle of the Cousins. A mere margin of victory in Nate's favor as it currently stands of 1.40 points. Moving on. Braden, 1-1. He's projected to beat Neely, also 1-1. Neely projected 120.9. Right now, not enough to beat Braden, 125.4. A margin of victory of a mere 4.5 points. We got a whole bunch of nail-biters in store for us this week, baby. I can't wait to watch. We'll see how that one goes down. Moving on. We have a battle between Dilly Donuts, who's projected to beat Z-Pat. Dilly Donuts sitting at 2-0. Z-Pat sitting at 1-1. Dilly projected 119.20 points. Z-Pat projected 110. A margin of victory of 9.20. We haven't even broke double digits yet. We're 4 games through. This could be a week of the century. We'll see if it pans out. Moving on. I, myself, 2-0, atop the Natty Division. I am going up against Jordy, also 2-0. This is basically the opposite of Corey versus Meat, battle of the defeateds. This is a battle of the undefeateds. Someone's got to lose that game. Someone's got to get their first win. In this game, someone's got to get their first loss. And it's looking like it might be Jordy. I'm projected 121.5. Jordy projected a measly 108.1. That's a margin of victory of 13.4 points. I'm an absolute runaway train in this league. We'll see if that continues. Speaking of week 3, Thursday night football. We'll be watching it here live in beautiful Bellevue, Kentucky at Center Street Studios. As always, you guys are always welcome. The door's open. There's beer in the fridge. There's pizza on the counter. Come help yourself. But tonight we'll be watching the Patriots traveling to New York. Or is it New Jersey? Do they play in New Jersey? I think they play in New Jersey, but they go by the New York Jets. So we got Patriots at Jets. Good luck to anyone who might have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson. Hopefully you don't have really anyone else in this game, except maybe if you got Aaron Rodgers. But if you do have him, good luck to you, and good luck to everyone who might have someone playing in tonight's game. All right. Throwing a lot of numbers your way. This isn't a show about numbers. It's a show about words. And it's a show about friends, and it's a show about football. I like to ask my friends questions about football and life in general. And no better person to have on this week to talk about football and life. More on that later. But it is my pleasure to introduce at this time a man who needs no introduction, but I will give him one anyways. He's won the Lombardi twice. He's gotten a woman pregnant once. And tonight, I am proud to present to you my friend since first grade. My friend since first grade. We'll see how long that lasts. None other. Forgot to get his intro music ready. You'll have to forgive me. This is live television. I'm one man. Wardrobe, makeup, script, music. None other than my friend, JORDY PONZER. JORDY! JORDY, my brother, it's good to have you back on.
Thank you,
JORDY was a guest last year, and he's a guest again this year. Week 3, episode 2 of the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League Private Rehab Future Week Forecast Evening Talk Show. JORDY, thanks for joining us, my friend.
I appreciate you having me.
Jordy, you got a lot going on, my friend. Now.
I do.
But let's start with the important stuff. Some fantasy football talk.
That's right.
Jordy, I'd like to ask a couple questions. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jordy, when this league formed back in 2016, you established yourself as the inarguable force to be reckoned with.
Mr. GM.
You had back-to-back championships in the first and second year of this little fantasy league that we have going here. And since then, you haven't won it. You haven't won since 2017. So what are you doing this year that might be a little different from prior years to try and get back on top?
I am jogging a couple miles a day. Just kidding.
I mean, no one believes that.
I'm looking through the waiver wire a couple times a day.
Really?
On the waiver, yeah.
Have you had any good pickups this year thus far?
I have not. Not yet.
Okay. So, okay. But you are trying to get back on top of the mountain.
I am. And I'm on a good start. 2-0.
2-0. It is a good start.
Ask Braden Neal. A win is a win.
A win is a win. You don't have to win by much as long as you win.
By a point.
By a point. That's all it takes. Can I ask you another question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your team name is Mr. GM. Now, what exactly is the meaning behind that name?
That is the GM, the only GM that makes the right decisions in fantasy football. Maybe not life, but fantasy football.
So you're saying that you are like the go-to guy when it comes to managing a fantasy football team?
Absolutely. If you want somebody to draft you a winning team, you come to Mr. GM himself, which is me, Jordan Ponzer.
Now, Jordy, might I remind you, you haven't won since 2017. That's 7 years. And you still think that you deserve the title, Mr. GM.
That might be taken down this year if I don't win.
You consider a name change?
I would consider a name change, yes.
You'd consider a name change.
Yeah.
We have a message in the chat here from our good buddy Evan, Evan, congrats on the engagement, my friend. I'll drink to that.
Yes, sir.
That's a good beer. He says Jordy is the worst scramble partner of all time. I think he's talking about golf. Evan, this is a football show. I'd appreciate it if you respect that in the chat. I'm just kidding, Evan. I love you.
I'm not.
Are you the worst scramble golfer of all time?
I'm up there. I'd have to give it to him. I'm up there.
Yeah,
I'm not a good scramble guy.
You kind of suck at
I like to play my own ball.
You suck at scramble golf, and you're kind of sucking on this episode, if I do say so myself. But more on that later. Jordy, I like to do a segment where I ask my guests to grade their draft. Now, I know that we're pretty early into the season. It's tough to get a read on how some of these picks might pan out. But would you mind grading your draft for me here?
Yeah, I can give it a shot.
In round 1, you had pick number 5. You took Jahmyr Gibbs, running back for the Detroit Lions. Last week, he put up 14.1 points, currently sitting at running back 14. How would you grade that pick?
I think that's a B+.
B+. Do you think he's going to get better as the season goes on?
He will progress as the season goes on, yes. He'll score more touchdowns. He'll get more chances to run the ball.
There's been a ton of injuries. Is Amon-Ra St. Brown, is he hurt right now?
He is not hurt.
He's one of the guys that's not hurt.
We need to get rid of a guy named David Montgomery.
Ooh, he's on my bench.
Yeah.
I'll trade
Son of a bench.
Son of a bench, baby. Moving on. Round 2, you took with the 16th pick. Now this one needs a little explaining. This was your keeper, Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of Cincinnati, the Bungles, baby. Which, by the way, I'm not wearing another fucking Bengals jersey until they win a goddamn football game. That's why we had a little bit of a change in the wardrobe department. I don't mean to blow my top right there, but I'm pissed about the Bengals.
I am too.
And I'm pissed about this guy. Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of the Cincinnati Bengals, 5.5 points last week. Absolutely pathetic. He's currently wide receiver 42 in fantasy football. How do you grade that pick? Your keeper.
I'm going to have to put that as a D+ right now.
A D+.
D+. Get rid of that motherfucker, man.
You don't want him on the team.
Get rid of him.
Would you trade him to me?
I am open to that.
All right.
You better make a good offer.
We'll talk more about that later.
I'm down for that. Let's do it.
Here's where I really think your draft fell apart these next 2 rounds. In round 3, pick 25, you doubled up on the Lions. You took Sam Laporta, tight end, Detroit Lions. Last week he scored, am I reading that correctly? He scored 2.3 points last week.
Wasn't many.
He's currently tight end 17. Now, I'll remind you, this is a 10-man league. Everybody starts one tight end. So you'd think that only the top 10 tight ends would be on rosters because there's only 10 of them, right? Right. He's currently tight end 17. You took him round 3. How do you grade that pick?
That's going to be the worst pick of the draft for me, I think.
So
I mean, I could throw my sister out there. She could score more points.
So you're giving that a
I'm giving that an E minus.
E minus. E minus. I tend to agree with you there. Moving on. Round 4. Pick 36. You took Patrick Mahomes, quarterback, Kansas City Chiefs. Everyone's heard of him.
I like that pick.
Last week against our Bengals, he scored 12.94 fantasy points. He's currently quarterback 12. Now, again, Jordy, I'll remind you, it's a 10-man league. Similar to the tight end, you only start one quarterback, so you'd hope to have a top 10 one, right? He's
Yeah.
currently quarterback 12, so how would you grade that pick?
I think that's not a very good pick either, the way you're putting it. I mean,
So how would you grade it?
I'd say that's a C. That's my C. I'll give it a C.
This looks like your report card in college. Like our EKU days. Moving on, let's grade one more round here, and this might be where you really redeem yourself.
Yes.
In round 5, pick 45 of our draft, you took Malik Neighbors, a rookie, right? Rookie wide receiver out of New York. He's playing for the Giants. Last week, a monster week, 26.7 points. Currently sitting at wide receiver 7. You got him round 5. How would you grade that pick?
That's my A plus there. That's my A pick.
A plus.
Good rookie. Good rookie.
Good rookie, yes.
Good rookie. Catches a lot of passes when Daniel Jones has his head out of his ass.
Yeah. Do you worry about Daniel Jones being his quarterback?
Not really.
No?
He's the number 1 receiver. He's going to get the ball no matter what.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you think there's a chance that's your keeper next year?
That could be a good keeper.
That could be a good keeper. That could be.
That might be my keeper.
Let's not look too far ahead.
Yeah.
Let's let the season play out. It is only week 3.
Yes. And I am 2-0.
You are 2-0. I'll give you that. But you're playing me this week. I don't like your chances. Can I ask you a couple more questions?
Yes, go ahead.
We discussed your draft. You pulled the trigger rather early when it came to both quarterback and tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3, you took a tight end. Round 4, you took quarterback.
Yeah.
How do you justify this strategy? And are you concerned? Aren't you concerned that when it comes to draft night, you really got to work on depth, wide receivers, and running backs?
I would say yes. For this year, like my bench is hurting because of the way I chose to choose my people.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have went quarterback or tight end quarterback at 3 and 4, but
no, it's absolutely asinine.
Well, you got to do asinine things to win championships, and there's only been 4 people won that trophy. Bodie, me, Zach.
That's true.
That's it.
Neil.
So
Neil.
Five people out of the 10.
Half the guys.
What the hell you other guys doing?
Half of us have won it. Half of us have not. But this year is my year. Take it to the bank. Jordy. The people want to know. Now, for those of you who may not know, Jordy, one of my best pals right here, he's been in a relationship with this beautiful young lady named Sarah. And Sarah has 2 kids of her own, right?
Yes.
2 beautiful kids.
Yes.
And you're an important part of their life.
Very important part.
But as of recently, she's about to have a 3rd kid.
That's right.
And rumor has it it's yours.
It is mine.
So this is going to be your firstborn child.
Yes.
And I heard someone tell me that just yesterday, you guys found out boy or girl.
We did.
Boy or girl. And you're willing on this little talk show to tell us whether it's going to be a son or a daughter.
I'm willing to tell you.
You're willing to tell you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the show's history, I'm going to leave the set. I'm going to give all the camera to this man right here as he looks in that camera and tells us if he's going to be the father to a new baby boy or a new baby girl. Jordan, the stage is yours, my friend. Jordy, tell us, please. We're dying to know.
So, I wore the color blue to give you guys a hint. It's a girl.
Oh! Yes, a girl. Yes.
It's a girl.
Jordy, yes.
It's a girl.
Jordy, congrats, buddy.
Little girl.
I'm so excited for you. Do you guys, well, I'm not going to ask about names. We are on live television. You guys might want to keep that close to the vest.
Yeah.
A girl, dude. A girl. Yes. Jordy's having a girl. Girl dad. That a boy, Jordy. Congrats from our good buddy Evan. That a
Thanks,
boy.
Evan.
Dude, I'm so excited for you, bud. A girl. Congrats to you. Congrats to Sarah.
Thank you.
Since it is a girl, I don't mean to spring this on you, but I do want to ask, can you name your top 10 favorite female athletes of all time?
Oh.
Since this is a sports show after all. I think that says it all, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordy's going to start watching volleyball, WNBA, all the good
Soccer.
stuff. His football career is almost over because he's about to be a girl dad, another one in the family. Jordy, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, for Jordy Ponzer. What do you say? Girl dad, baby. Thank you, Jordy. Thank you. And Zach's lovely wife, who has a girl of her own, says, congrats, Jordy.
Thank you.
All right, guys. What a beautiful show that was. We got to learn a little bit about our friend Jordy. We got to wish our good buddy Meat a belated happy birthday. And we got to talk a little fantasy football. Drank a couple of stones. That's a good beer. And it is my honor and privilege to once again say thanks for tuning in. We appreciate everyone who watches each week. We appreciate the live studio audience. Thank you for joining me. As always, I will let you all know the front door is always open, baby. Thursday night football. Come watch a game. Come have a slice. Come drink a beer. That's what we do. It's what it's all about. Until next week, this has been the Cheap Beer Fantasy Football League Private Recap Future Reforecast Evening Talk Show. As always, I've been your host. Thank you, Jordy. Thank you, everyone. Congrats, Sarah. See you soon, baby girl. And cut. Peace.